started now. I'd like to welcome everybody to the 10th Annual Sports Hall of Fame banquet. I'd like to congratulate all the inductees of Class of 2000 and all the special award recipients. A great job. I'd like to welcome their families, friends, reverend clergy, Roman alumni, and friends of Roman. At this time, I'd like to call Father Hoffman up to say the grace before meals. Then I ask you all to remain standing and we'll sing the national anthem.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Almighty God and glorious Father, we rejoice that your Son and our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, was victorious over sin and death. Bless the food that we will share, and give us a strength to share the good news of Easter, and to live the message of hope that it brings. We ask this through Jesus Christ, risen now and forever. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen.
Okay, thank you, Father.
Right there.
Okay, thanks everybody. Enjoy your dinner and we'll see you after dinner.
Slip on your table with the words of the fight song, the Roman Catholic High Fight song. This was started in 1934, my year, and all of a sudden it slipped away. We're trying to bring it back. So let's hear you now. We're going to sing the Sons of Kale fight song. Ready? Sons of Kale, fiercely fighting, o'er the battle's noise and roar. Hear the cry that we are sending, bring us victory we implore. Let glory crown your endeavor, fame renowned for you is nigh. Oft will tell the story over, so let's fight for Catholic high. Come on and fight to victory. Turn back the pressing enemy. Rise in your might and crush the foe. For Kale's fame, we want this game. Come on, let's go. Your Catholic high sons, loyal and true, and we are cheering hard for you. Come on and fight, fight, fight. Come on and fight to victory.
Thanks, Joey. Thanks, John. Okay, we'd like to get rolling tonight. At this time, I would like to introduce the Toastmaster for tonight's events. Tom Johnson's from class of 72. He has a little experience. He's a Toastmaster at the Communion Breakfast on his 25th anniversary. So Tom is going to be your man for tonight. Tom?
Thank you, Steve. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Reverend Fathers. It's my pleasure to be here tonight for our 10th Sports Hall of Fame dinner. And I'll lay some ground rules out for you. I went to last year's Toastmaster, Mr. Jim O'Neill, who did a wonderful job for 2 years. And I said, Jim, do you have any advice for me? I'm rather inexperienced at this. He said, look, Tom, you're on your own, buddy. But I'll give you some advice that I received when I was a Philadelphia policeman. And it is, don't threaten a crowd that's larger than 400. But I will give you a threat. Here's the threat. And my friends from the class of 72 will tell you how this goes. No jokes for me tonight, okay? They're very happy. Now, but if we kind of wing one in there on you, all right, you have to laugh. And if you don't laugh, I'll be forced to explain it, which could take all night, and they'll agree to that, right? All right. Now, you know, when you get this job, things go through your mind, and you know, what great quote can I use to start the night off? And should it be something from President Kennedy's Berlin Wall address, or should it be whatever? It comes to mind, Sister Vincent Joseph from my 8th grade class. It goes like this: Johnston, someday your big mouth is going to get you in trouble. So we'll keep it to that. We'll take her advice. And lastly, Mr. Quinn gave me a very good rating assignment one time. It was, speech is silver, silence is golden, 500 times. So we will try to adhere to his advice. Lastly, let me tell you that we have a video recording of tonight. There's a sign-up sheet in the back. Anyone who wants one, they're for sale. So if you're on a budget, if you're on an allowance, you have to make the call between the bar and the video. All right? Now, our first speaker really needs no introduction. It is Father Brandt, who is our principal and rector. President and rector, I apologize. President and rector.
Good evening. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate all the inductees into this 10th annual Schaff Banquet, along with all the award winners this evening. Over the past week, I was in Baltimore for the National Catholic Educational Association Conference and spent the week speaking with many Catholic educators from across the country. And so many of them would talk about their schools. And they would say that their school was 40 years old, their school was 60 years old, their school was 50 years old, and they were trying to be very impressive with that. So I sat back quietly until it was my turn and said, well, our school's 110 years old. And they certainly looked twice because they couldn't believe that a school could continue to exist in its same location for 110 years. Considering all the changes that have taken place in society and within our world in the spans of 3 different centuries. Today we come together, and at our assembly today at school, the president of the student body, Pat Shank, spoke about the pride that he had with the 4 championships that the school has received this year. And certainly for the student body who are at Catholic High this year, it is a very exciting time and very easy for them to focus on the immediate successes that as a student body they have achieved, the successes of the 4 championships that they have won throughout this year. But sitting there today in the midst of the Schaff Assembly, we came to realize that a school does not exist for 110 years if it only focuses on its immediate successes. That it is going back through the decades, going back through the century, and highlighting and recognizing and awarding the accomplishments of a tradition and of a past, which continues to strengthen the presence of the school today. We cannot
as a school in the year 2000, only look at what we're doing today, but we need to look back at what has happened over the past 110 years of the school's existence. Looking back honors many individuals, honors a lot of hard work, a lot of teamwork, and certainly recognizes outstanding individuals from the history of the school. Recognizing the immediate successes of our championships this year recognizes what is being done. But of course, for the school to continue to succeed in this coming century and into the next decades, we need to continually look forward. And so looking into the eyes of the freshmen and the sophomores who sat there in that auditorium today, we realized that it was the challenge to the classes of 2002, 2003, and on this coming Wednesday night we welcome the class of 2004 into Roman Catholic High School. It's the challenge to those young men to keep what has been and what is presently going into the future, to make sure that that pride and tradition, which has been so firmly founded at the corner of Broad and Vine Streets, will continue to remain firmly planted there throughout the rest of this century and into other centuries. That does not happen by itself. It happens with the dedication and hard work of many, many people. It happens by people dreaming dreams. Tonight we come to recognize the strong foundation in history, the men that have gone before us, those who are gathered here this evening to be recognized for their outstanding accomplishments of younger years. We also recognize the great accomplishments of our present student body, but as a school community, whether we gather here this evening or we gathered at Catholic High this afternoon, we constantly look forward to the future. That foundation which has been planted and which continues to be sustained today will be put forth into the future, it will be supported, and it will be built upon by the young men who are continuing to live that legacy of Thomas E. Cahill, the legacy of all the many people that have gone before them, to be able to be successful in sustaining that pride and tradition. I thank all of you who have come here this evening to recognize the inductees, the award winners. I particularly would like to thank Steve Paul and his committee, the SHOF committee, who do an outstanding job throughout the year to make this very important awards day, awards ceremony, dinner, and so forth, such an important part of the annual tradition of Catholic High. Several people have asked me specifics about today. What is the menu? How are the inductees selected? How many people vote on them? And in all honesty, I'm not sure. I didn't know what we were having until I sat down. But I figured, having been at the other SHOF banquets and knowing the strong tradition of Catholic High, I kind of figured that chicken would be someplace on the menu. But it is the great work of the SHOF committee that plans all those details, from menus to nominees, to voting, to planning, to the assembly, to the luncheon at school today, and eventually to the dinner here this evening. Once again, I want to thank the members of the SHOF committee and congratulate all of the recipients this evening, and thank all of their guests and family members for being with us here as we continue to mark that pride and tradition today and look forward to it into the 21st century. Thank you.
Father, the dinner menu is very easy to remember. Even years, the chicken's on the outside. Odd years, the chicken's on the outside. The opposite. You can figure that one out. All right, anytime. All right. Another agenda item is that tonight is the inductees night. All right, we have 10 inductees, and this is their night. And one thing, Father Brandt is in residence at my parish, or I'm in residence in his parish. I haven't figured that one out. But we have something during Mass. It's a little room off the side. It's called the crying room. And when kids are nasty or bad or whatever, they go in the crying room. Well, here at Williamson's, we have the bar. If you want to talk, go in the bar, okay? This is the inductees' night, and please give them the respect that they deserve tonight when they're speaking, okay? Our first award is named after one of my heroes, Bob Evans. He's a founder of the committee here, and he took me under his wing and suckered me into this. And the first years, he would ask me for a hop. The first time he asked me for a hop home, I said, boy, this is a pain. This guy wants me to go to Mount Airy and give him a ride. And man, the second time I looked forward to giving this gentleman a ride because it was a pleasure. This guy could have had the biggest chip on his shoulder, could have had a lot of baggage, and you would never know it. The guy always looked at the glass half full, never empty. In fact, his half full glass was overflowing. And one thing he taught me was, let it pass. No matter what happens, let it pass. And I keep that motto, and we use that once in a while when things get tough at our committee meetings. Father Brandt mentioned he has no idea how this works. Well, one of the way it works is the nominations are made by the alumni, submitted to us, and we advertise for this. And you, the Roman community, submit the applications with the criteria, with the backup documents. And a selection committee sits down and hammers it out. Who's going to be this year's inductees? And it's all on merit. And some of us investigate these things and, come up with our selections. And sometimes it gets rather heated at these meetings. And it always comes out with, hey, let it pass. We're all on the same team. And so the first award tonight is the Bob Evans MVP Award, given to the MVP of the football team. And it's presented tonight by Coach Dan Algio, coach of the championship 1999 football team. Coach.
Thank you, Tom. On behalf of the Roman Catholic Championship Football Program, we'd like to congratulate all the inductees, their families, the special award winners and their families on this tremendous evening. Also like to congratulate and thank Steve Paul and the shop committee on another excellent job. Before I introduce the Bob Evans MVP Award winner, I'm going to ask another member of the football team to please stand. Chris Young, would you please stand? Now, a little background on Chris. Chris is going to be later. I know Chris hates this. Chris was the center of our championship football team, was one of our captains, was an unsung hero. And later this evening, Chris will be honored as a scholar athlete. Chris is ranked 9th in the class, has an SAT score of 1240, has already been accepted by West Point, Catholic University in LaSalle, and he's deciding right now on which three to go to. Chris, as a sophomore, started both ways at center and linebacker. His junior year started as center and linebacker. And as a senior, he could only play one way due to a shoulder injury. And I know he would have preferred to play linebacker, but for the good of the team, we needed him to play center. Extremely unselfish young man, class act, and it's just a real pleasure to coach. Also, I had the great pleasure of coaching his brother Jonathan last year, who was the quarterback of a very good football team and led us to the playoffs. And I just want to say thank you to Chris. I want to thank his parents for both here. Teresa and Phil, if you would stand, please. Chris's high school football career is not done. He will be playing with, there will be 10 Roman Catholic football players playing May 20th in the 26th annual City All-Star football game. That is a record for Roman representation. Before I introduce our award winner, I'm going to ask Coach Jim Murphy to stand. Coach Murphy was my defensive coordinator and was extremely instrumental in turning his football program around, and now the reins are his. And he will do an outstanding job, believe me. The first award winner is Joe McCourt. Now, Joe was unable to attend this evening. He promised his girlfriend he would take her to her junior prom at Little Flower. So Joe was at the Little Flower junior prom right now, cutting up the rug. But Joe's parents are here. I'm going to ask Joe and Mary McCourt to please stand. Just a little background on Joe. Joe McCourt is 5'11", about 165 pounds, soaking wet. Is a 2-year starter at both fullback and running back. Is a 2-year starter of the baseball team in center field. Is a 2-year member of our nationally known basketball program. Was first team All-Catholic at running back and outside linebacker. Was second team All-Catholic at kicker. Was selected first team All-City by both the Philadelphia Inquirer and the Daily News. And was selected the Daily News Player of the Year. Joe is already receiving interest from Syracuse University, the University of Penn, James Madison, Villanova, and the University of Delaware. Joe McCourt is one of our Bob Evans MVP award winners. Our other MVP award winner is here. He does not have a prom date tonight. Tim Schmidt. Tim, as well as Chris, will graduate from Roman Catholic High School exactly 6 weeks from tonight. Tim was a captain like Chris and was an excellent leader. Tim was a 3-year starter at free safety. Tim was known around the Catholic League as the toughest and most hard-hitting defensive back in the league. Tim's rainbow style of play, everyone loved his rainbow style of play, except for his coach at times when he was playing quarterback. As a senior offensively, Tim accounted for 18 touchdowns, 9 rushing and 9 passing. During Tim's career at free safety, he had 16 career interceptions, 3 of which he returned to touchdowns. Tim will either be attending Catholic University or Widener University. Tim has a SAT score of 1030 and is ranked 34th in the class. Tim was a 2-time first-team All-Catholic selection of free safety, and as a senior was first-team All-City selection by both the Philadelphia Daily News and the Philadelphia Inquirer. And Tim will be playing in the 26th annual Philadelphia City All-Star football game. It was a pleasure coaching him. Real honor. 1999 Bob Evans MVP Award, Tim Schmidt.
Thank you. Have a speech. Thanks, Joe. I'd like to take this time to thank my family, coaches, and the Sports Hall of Fame for honoring me tonight, all of who have supported me throughout my life. It is a tremendous honor to receive an award in the name of Bob Evans. It is also an honor to receive it with Joe McCourt, who was an outstanding player, but unfortunately could not be here tonight. Honestly, I can say there really is no MVP on this football team. The team is the MVP. You cannot single out one player and say he is the best on the team without second-guessing yourself. Every single player has contributed to the success of our team. Everyone worked hard to achieve one goal, a championship. There hasn't been one in the last 52 years. It's a long time. I walked into the basketball gym my junior year and I noticed 30 basketball championship banners, and all by itself, on the right side of the stage, a 1947 championship football banner. I wanted one so bad, one that read 1999 champs though. When we made the championship this year, there was this feeling that I got, like that we wouldn't be denied. Coach Algio said that a few times throughout the season. let's see. Every time I came to the sidelines during the game, I saw the number 41 jersey, and it would remind me how close we were, and it motivated me, and it showed on the field through me and my teammates. Over the last 4 years, I can remember every game I played in, and it's amazing how quick this program turned around. I won one football game until I came to Rowan. In 4 years, we have won 29. I think that it's safe to say that Roman Catholic football once again has a winning tradition. Thank you.
And before I close out, I want to thank Walt and Marsh. They've been incredibly supportive of me. I got to coach both their sons, Chris and Timmy, and it was a real pleasure. And I just want to take this opportunity to thank everybody at Roman Catholic. My 4 years coaching there was just a true joy, and it really is a special place, and I'm going to miss it dearly, believe me. Thanks.
This is going to be one of those wing jobs, but Father Brandt, Father Hoffman, Dan, thank you for putting out kids like this spoke. That's what it's all about. We're proud to be backing you. Since we're 110 years old, we have a few championships around. And let me tell you, Tim, when I played football, we won 3 games in 4 years, buddy. Okay? And I'll tell you, this year I have triplets, and they're 8 years old, and I don't go out much. So I made it a promise I'm going to start going to football games, so I took them to a football game. Dad, you're not taking us to the game. Oh, no. Well, it was like the happiest night of their life. They had a ball. I couldn't find my daughter at halftime. I had the boys in the bathroom. I go out, I'm sweating. I can't find her. She's playing football under the goalpost, right? The next night, I go to the prep game. There's 3 more kids on my curb waiting for me to come home from work to take them. And the championship, I think I had 12 kids in the car. So thanks for a great season. The Johnston family appreciates it. We also, as I said, we have a lot of championships. And one thing we decided on the committee this year, it's kind of unfair to the old timers that we might bypass them. So we sat down and we voted that any championship team before 1930 gets in this year. So I'd like to read, if anyone's here from those years, please stand up. But, for football, 1915, 1916, 1922, and 1923, Catholic School Championship of the East. 1926 Football Catholic League Champions. Basketball, 1903, 1904, 1905 Catholic League Champs. 1909, 1913, 1916, 1922, 1925, 26, 27, and 28 Catholic League Champions. Crew, 1898 Interscholastic Rowing Championship. I didn't know if that was the Nina, the Pinna, or the Santa Maria, The 1916 Track Senior Catholic Champions. So let's hear a round of applause. Hopefully they're with us in spirit. Our first recipient of the night. Class of 1974, 4-year basketball player, 2-time All-Catholic junior and senior. As a senior, he led his team to the city championship. Upon graduation, he attended American University, where he continued his basketball career. He is currently employed as a special education teacher. May I present to you Donald Kelly.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you everyone who's involved with this. This is unbelievable. First of all, I'd like to thank my mother who came. She's a little ill, but you couldn't tell by looking at her knock down that dinner tonight. Not everyone have a set of parents. Coach Morris and his wife Mimi were like my surrogate parents. Give them a hand, will you? Oh yeah, I can't forget my wife. Stand up, Patricia. Will you let them see how cute you are, please? Stand up, Patricia, please. One of the main things I said I would do when I got up here was to mention my JV coach. We called him Coach O, Coach Oki, O'Connor, John O'Connor. Will you stand up, please, John? He always told me that every time I made a mistake or did something good, he always said, you couldn't do that. You can't play for Coach Mars if you do that. So give him a hand for that. I want to thank everybody. This is really, like I said, unbelievable. All I did was come to practice every day. I had no idea that something like this would happen to me. I really play hard. Sometimes I tried to hide behind some guys at practice. Coach Morris wouldn't go for that. He had an eagle eye. But Charlie Rumsey is here tonight. Mr. Holman is here tonight. Eddie Jones, Mike LaPera, even Murphy came. Can you believe that Murphy came? I can't believe it. And Chico Singleton, I haven't seen him in a few years. We were the 1-2 punch at one time. Chico, stand up, will you? Stand up, stand up. All I can remember is we got out of school at 2-something. We stayed to practice till 7-something, and we were really tired when we left there. But there's one more thing I want to say, and I can't forget this. We practiced hard, we practiced long, and we practiced mad. We were mad as hell when we played at that school. And the coach was even madder. But I don't know why, but he was madder than we were. But we had a good time. We won an awful lot of games. In fact, we almost won all our games. And I'm telling you, we weren't bragging. We never bragged about it or said what we were going to do. We just went out there and we played hard. And one day I was watching TV, drinking a beer, and watching The Simpsons, and they got a call and said, hey, you're being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Just when you think it's all over, here comes Roman Catholic, right? So thank you very much. And Coach Mars, I love you. Thank you.
What TV show is that? I haven't made it past the Rugrats. Next, we have a special award. We give a few of those out tonight. It's in honor of William Billy Markwell Humanitarian Award. You don't get a story because I didn't know him, but he was a legend. And the criteria for this award is in your book. I'm sure you can read it just as well as I can read it to you, so we'll just pass on all the criteria. This individual I do know, and I'll tell you, he's one of the gentlemen of Roman Catholic that I met. You know, when I say gentleman, I mean gentleman. He's right up there with Bob Evans and Speedy Morris and all those guys that you hear their names a lot. He was the first president when I got involved with the Alumni Association. This individual is a member of the class of 1933. Played on the championship team of 1933. Founded the Gillum Machinery Company. Past president of the Alumni Association. He conceived the concept of our Sports Hall of Fame, and he was wise enough and responsible enough for appointing Bob Evans as our first chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present John Gillum. Thank you.
Members of SHOF, inductees of this year, 2000, and the Friends of Roman. The honor given to me by the SHOF Committee is deeply appreciated. It has great meaning to me for many reasons. Uppermost is that Mr. Markwood was my coach in the championship year of 1933. Jim Herron, one of this year's inductees, was captain of that team. And we were joined by John McMenamin, Matt Gukas, Dan Kenny, all now members of the Hall of Fame. I just happened to be the other guard. Les Smallback and Bill Buck completed the team. I have been privileged to be a part of Roman Catholic from a student, a graduate, an alumnus, and honored as an alumni president during the centennial year. I also point to my classmates here at table 3 and 4, having been a member of that class of 1933. We have been known as the black and blue class. We had 14 priests and 31 policemen. And we put in 3 or 4 firemen. All of these classmates have been a success in their chosen field. Completing the team cycle all the way from Arizona comes our team manager, Bruno Tavacchia, with his wife, Connie, and they're present here tonight. I have many to thank: the priests, the faculty, the alumni, the students, the Mothers and Fathers Clubs, and Friends of Roman, who have made the Renaissance of Roman a reality. Personally, my mother and father for sending me to Roman, my family, son John, Mary Kay, my daughter, their children, my favorite nephew, Tom McFarland and his wife Wilma, Uncle Ray, can't forget him, and the newlyweds-to-be, Keith and Diane. I wish them well on July 1. So now there's a lot to be remembered. And I close with thanks again to SHOF for this honor. May this committee continue forever. And with an excerpt from my evening prayers, God bless Roman.
And God bless John Gillen, too. Thank you. When Steve asked me to do this, all week we've been going back and forth. He kept on saying, Tom, use this as a filler. I'm like, yeah, right, I'll get it all over at once, So this is a filler, guys. One thing, what they're doing, the athletic program at Roman is greatly enhanced since we've been there. This year, they won the Catholic League football championship, indoor hockey, ice hockey championship, the soccer champion, not the soccer, I apologize, the I'm losing it now. The track, an indoor track, that's what I apologize. Indoor track, first night out, guys. And of course, they squeezed a basketball championship in there. So 4 championships this year. What a great job you guys are doing. In the last decade, they won, and someone told me that it might be the only school that has done this, 4 major championships: football, soccer, baseball, and just a few basketball championships. So you guys are doing a great job with the sports program. Our next inductee, class of 1973. This guy must be a hell of a guy, because between him and Kelly, they got Murphy out. But class of 1973, 4-year varsity basketball player, starter sophomore, junior, and senior years, sophomore year honorable mention All-Catholic, junior year All-Catholic, senior year All-Catholic, senior year All-City, earned the Markwood Award for being the most outstanding player in the Philadelphia area, played in the prestigious Dapper Dan tournament. Upon graduation, attended Niagara University, where he continued his basketball career as a 4-year varsity player. He graduated there with a BA in sociology. It's my pleasure to introduce James Chico Singleton.
Good evening, everyone. Glad to be here. Let me give honor to God, first of all, for being here tonight. I'm not a good speaker at all, so just bear with me. You know, it's been a long time since I've been around my Roman family because I've been away from the Roman family for years now. Matter of fact, close to 20, 25 years. So, you know, a lot of people here I haven't seen in years, and I'm just getting reacquainted. I have my family here. I have my daughters here. Could you stand up? Aisha and Margaret. I also have my son here. His name is Tariq. Stand up, Tariq. I have my lovely wife, Lauren, here. And her grandson, Jamar. Okay. But it's a thrill to be here tonight. And I went to the ceremonies this afternoon, and it was very, very eloquent, you know. First time I've been in Roman's gym, and in our gym, in over 15 or 20 years. And I just felt at home, and I felt the vibe just going back through me, you know, because anytime I went, the first day I ever went to Roman, it was a thrill for me, you know, because I came up in a hard way, and my mother, matter of fact, my mother died when I was 5 years old, so I didn't get raised up by my mother and father. So I was institutionalized, and I grew up in Roxborough, which a lot of these people know me here, you know. And I thank the people that I was involved with the Roman community and the Roman program, because I love them all, and they were family to me. Coach Morris, Eddie Hoban, John Hoban, all the teachers at Roman, the faculty. It goes on and on, you know. But Roman has been a vital part of my life, you know. And I'm 46 years old now, and I've been up and down in my life, right? And today was the first day that I came back to Rome, and I seen a lot of things flashed up in front of my face, you know. And I thank God for it. It's hard to explain things because, like I said, I haven't been around the Roman program in a long time, but I'm very honored to be honored by the Roman community. It's not too much I can say. I just thank Roman for honoring me tonight. I love Roman, and I'll always be a Roman fan, and I love you.
All right, our next inductee, class of 1973. And so Tim, you talked about all your wins this year. We didn't win any this year. When I was a senior, we didn't win any. This guy was our quarterback. All right? Not his fault. And I'll tell you, you'll see why. All right? 4 years baseball player. Junior year honorable mention All-Catholic baseball. Let's get into football now. 3-year varsity player on the football team. Junior year honorable mention All-Catholic. That was the year. Okay? Didn't win any. Right? Honorable mention. Right? Senior year, co-captain. Quarterbacked his team to the first Thanksgiving in the first Thanksgiving game against Roxborough High on our first victory. Received all Catholic honors that year. I think he had 1 win that year. All city honors. Honorable mention All State. Cahill Award winner for football. Has pitched in the Pendel League for the past 22 years and has quarterbacked various local football teams. Presently, he's active coaching girls CYO basketball and 21st Ward softball. Mr. Phil D. Williams.
Thank you. If I do half as good as Chico, I'll be happy. And he was a bad speaker. I would like to thank a few people, coaches that I played for. I see a lot of friends out here. I'm really surprised they were coming, especially Danny Nolasco's here. I'm amazed at that. Okay? It's great seeing Chico and Donald and the other inductees. I'm very happy. I haven't seen Chico since I graduated high school. He didn't come. Wasn't able to make any of the high school reunions. I want to congratulate the 4 championship teams: football, basketball, cross country, hockey. It's absolutely unbelievable. I'm very proud to be here. I'm happy I'm here, and I'm very nervous, so you know. It's great knowing I could get in with a team that wasn't as good as it should have been. But I'll give you a reason why. We had some guys on our team that were very good, but really, I don't know if they didn't listen to the coach, but one day, we had a guy get hurt, and he was laying on the field, and we went out and dragged him off the field. The trainers looked at him, and we asked him what happened. He said, I don't know, I put my finger here, and it hurt. I touched my side, and it hurt. Touched my knee, it hurt. So we took him off. Trainer didn't know what it was. Took him to get x-rays, and doctor x-rayed his whole body, and they found out he had a broken finger. So we were in trouble, needless to say. But once again, let me thank everyone. I especially want to thank my family. They're all here, my brothers and sisters. I have 4 sisters that went to Callahan, sorry. Roman, guys, if you remember, we called it Cal Palace. I'm sorry, I had to do it. All right? But I want to thank them for all the support they gave me. They followed me throughout the years at high school. They went to every game. As bad as we were sometimes, and we got killed by St. James every year. They went to every game, home and away, and I really want to thank them. I want to thank, last but not least, my father, who stuck with me. Excuse me 1 second. And my mother, who would have loved to have seen this, but wasn't able to make it. She passed away 10 years ago. I'm sorry, thank you. Thank you.
Phil said he was a little nervous. Phil, it's a little wet up here. You got a mop? He mentioned his father. I'll tell you, his father went to every practice, every game. He was there at all times. Last row of the football field with his police radio. Really, he was a policeman, and he was there at all times. Our next award is a special award. It's the John J. Hoban Senior Memorial Award for meritorious service. Murph, I need a little help, buddy. This recipient began teaching at Cardinal Doherty High School in 1959. Went on to teach at Sun Valley and Pencrest. Has been the head football coach at Lansdale Catholic since 1968 He's the father of Coach Dan Algio. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jim Algio.
It's a real honor for me to receive an award in recognition of John Hooping. When I was attending college in Chester at Pennsylvania Military College back in the late 1950s, every Sunday afternoon during the fall, I would go to a Catholic League football game. And one of the coaches that, as an assistant coach, that was greatly admired and recognized for the work he did was John Hooping. So for me to receive an award in his honor is a great thing for me. I have a lot of connection with Roman. When my father first came to this country, he lived with an uncle, Hugh Algio, in South Philadelphia, who was a Philadelphia policeman, and one of his sons was a long-term English teacher at the Roman Catholic High School by the name of John Algio. And when I went to be interviewed for the second time at Lansdale Catholic, they told me I had to pass the final approval of a man who was a Roman grad, was on the faculty and part of the administration at Roman, was the pastor of St. Stanislaus in Lansdale, Monsignor Paul Cahill. So he hired me up there. Father Tribbs, who was on the faculty at Roman, is now the school minister at Lansdale Catholic. I had cousins that attended Roman. One of them is here this evening, Frank McGarvey. When I was in grade school, I remember listening to the championship football game between Roman and I think it was Frankfurt. And in that game, one of the Frankfurt backs broke into the open, and he also was a sprint champion in the public league. And I remember being impressed with the fact that he was caught from behind by a lineman from Roman by the name of Bob Evans. When I was in high school, I spent a little over 3 years in the seminary with the Holy Cross Fathers on the campus of Notre Dame. The only time in 3 years that we were allowed to listen to the radio was when Notre Dame was playing an away football game. And the one game I remember in particular was when Notre Dame was playing in Philadelphia at Franklin Field against the University of Pennsylvania, and the captain of that football team was Bob Evans. And I got to meet Bob Evans 4 years ago when my son Dan was hired as the football coach at Roman, and they come up to Lansdale Catholic over the summer for a passing scrimmage. Dick Trotter, who's a graduate of Roman, is here this evening. His 13 children have all graduated from Lansdale Catholic, and 4 of his children are here this evening along with his wife Bernadette, his son Dick, Claire, Rose, and Dan, and Richard's wife Debbie's also here. My son Dan married into the Fitzsimmons family, and one of the uncles is Jim Fitzsimmons. He's a Roman grad. So there's a lot of connection between myself and Roman. My own family is sitting right here to my left. 6 of the children are here. Maggie, Mary Frances, Veronica, Bridget, Mary Eileen, and their husbands and so forth. And the real head coach is sitting on the far table over there. That's my wife, Mickey, if she would just stand up for a minute so she could be recognized. Many of us were in the stands at Charlie Martin Field, or Stadium, the night that they beat LaSalle for the Catholic League Championship. And even though up in Lansdale we wear green and gold, that night we were screaming back across the field at the LaSalle fans, we wear purple.
starting to love this job. You guys are leaving a lot of openings for me here. He mentioned, Mr. Algio mentioned the story about Bob Evans being the captain of Penn when they played Notre Dame. Well, Bob, being the good Catholic he is, gave the whole team miraculous medals to put in the helmets. And he said, you know, Notre Dame means Our Lady. He said, Our Lady against, their lady against Our Lady. And it was a 7-7 tie, so he did pretty well with the miraculous medals. Laugh or I'll explain it. Okay. All right. Next recipient, class of 1954, four-year football player, outstanding running back. Senior year voted first team All-Catholic and All-Scholastic. Upon graduation, he entered the military to serve his country, and after 24 years of distinguished service, retired from the Philadelphia Police Department. Jack Ryan.
My goodness, I'm not much of a speaker. I appreciate everything Roman did for me. And I had a nephew there I went to school with. We had to do a little bit of painting to get back into our senior year. And paint we did. Unfortunately, he was injured in the first game and only played one other game. So I just think this is wonderful. I'd like to thank all my family and all my friends for being here. I appreciate very much this honor. Thank you.
One of the things I did the other night was I called most of the inductees and I kind of went over their honors to make sure I got it right, because I felt it was their night and I didn't want to miss anything, and if they wanted to add or subtract, that was fine. And when I called this gentleman right here, you could hear him cringing every time I said something. He's a humble man, and it was remarkable. There's another guy who said, I did all that? So anyway, we're back to special awards. This award is the Patrick E. Award Scholar Athlete Memorial Award. And this award is given in honor of Pat Ward. I had the pleasure of sitting with his family. There's a couple occasions at this dinner that I've done this. Pat Ward played football, played guard on the football team, ran track and sang in the glee club, not at the same time. He was voted most popular student by his class senior year, so he was like a Roman through and through type guy. Pat made the extreme sacrifice for his country. He gave his life in Vietnam. This year's recipient is a four-year football player, center and linebacker, co-captain of this year's championship team, member of the baseball team, member of the National Honor Society, magna cum laude. I had to practice this, right? For Latin 1 National Latin exam, cum laude for Latin 2 National Latin exam, ranked top 10 in his class, and he's been accepted by numerous colleges. Ladies and gentlemen, is it Chris Young?
Before I begin my remarks, would Mr. James McSherry, the class of 1940, please come forward? At our school sports banquet, the championship football team all signed 3 commemorative footballs for alumni, and who also helped in a significant way for us this year. They were John White, the class of 1943, Dick Trotter, the class of 1949, and Mr. McSherry, the class of 1940. Mr. McSherry was unable to attend the banquet, so tonight, on behalf of our team, I'd like to present to him this commemorative football signed by our team. I am honored to receive this prestigious award named after a great man, Patty Ward. Patty Ward walked the halls of Roman in the 1960s. He was a good football player who was liked by all. In Vietnam, he made the greatest sacrifice of all, giving his life for his country. I hope to someday have the courage that he possessed. Just to have my name associated with his is enough to make me proud. He is someone that I will model my life after. I'd like to thank my teachers and coaches that I've had in my 4 years at Roman. You pushed me to my limits, and I'm a better person because of it. My teachers made learning it as enjoyable as it can be. That's not an easy job. Even though I wasn't always a pleasure to have in class, you stuck with me. Sports made Roman a better experience for me, and I could not imagine going to school without having a practice or a game afterwards. My coaches taught me the value of teamwork, discipline, and sacrifice. In Roman's classrooms and on Roman's fields, I was taught life's lessons. You showed me to be a man and supported me as I tried. For what you did, I can never repay you. I just hope to make you proud. I'd also like to thank my parents. First, I want to thank you for sending me to such a great school. You supported me in my challenges here at Roman. You were always there for me when I needed help and when I struggled, and you never let me give up. I also want to thank you for showing me the value of a great education. There's nothing more I can say except you guys are the best. I'm proud to receive this award, and I'm proud to call myself a KOA. Thank you.
One of the things I always say at the end of these banquets, and this is the 10th, these kids, when they get up here, they're the best speakers of the night. You did a good job. Our next inductee, class of 1964, four-year varsity soccer player. In his junior year, he scored 5 goals in 1 game against Monsignor Bonner. Senior year, first team All-Catholic. After graduation, attended LaSalle College. Currently serves on the faculty of Roman Catholic. While Roman, he has served as varsity soccer coach, assistant athletic director, and athletic director. Mr. Pete Mesnick.
I can see what I'm doing here. If you'd like to get a beer or go to the bathroom, now's the time, because this may take a while. Just kidding. Reverend Fathers, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to attempt to summarize here in about 3 minutes, 25 years of about 25 years actually of my athletic life tonight. First of all, I must thank God for His blessing and goodness, and He's allowed me to be here tonight with you as an inductee in Roman's Catholic's Hall of Fame. I'd like to publicly thank my parents for their love, their care, and support in my endeavors. Unfortunately, they could not be here tonight. My mother's not well, and my father's taking care of her. My thanks to Steve Paul, SHOF Chairman, and his illustrious committee for selecting me tonight, again, as member of SHOF. At this time, I'd like to congratulate the past members and present inductees into the Sports Hall of Fame. Now we got to go back a little bit as far as my playing days. I have to cover all grounds here. I'd like to thank coaches Jerry Middleberger, Fran Lou Spino for believing in me and for allowing me to make Roman's soccer team, number one. Also for their support and encouragement during my 4 years as a varsity soccer player. Playing soccer was easy, fun and exciting. Getting to and from the games, well, that was something else. In those days, buses were as I wrote here, were not the primary modes of transportation. At times, teachers' cars, coaches, moderators, and even students' cars had to be commandeered, not to mention public transportation to get us to the games, not always a sure bet. In conjunction with that, playing conditions were not always ideal, to say the least. Imagine this, many fields, or fields rather, I should say, I'm sorry, without nets, without markings, and hoping, oftentimes, that a referee would show up and be there for the game when you played. Contrary to popular belief, however, we did wear real soccer shoes, real uniforms, and did kick real soccer balls. Not medicine balls, as sometimes reported. Much credit must be given to my teammates, a great bunch of talented players and guys, without whose help it would not have been possible for me to be here tonight and be successful as I have been. And again, to score as many goals as I have. It was thanks to them, passing and all, if you know anything about soccer. You know. Now, mind you, I'm not saying that I had no talent. Early on in my soccer career, however, I did score the 5 goals, and I think where's Tom? I forget his name now. I'm sorry. I apologize, but Tom had said that my soccer ball, the 5th ball, was auctioned before Chamberlain's or after Chamberlain's. I'm not sure, but it's now going for $500,000. So I can't get it back now. It's gone. All right. But anyway. The 5 goals against Bonner was great, but I thought to myself, hey, I'm the next Pele, right? Until about 20 years later, Mo Crady shows up for a soccer game at St. John Newman, scores 8 goals. So much for that, enough said. All right? Now, here's another thing. It must be said that my team, though, our team, I should say, had a secret weapon which later teams didn't have. And that is language. You'd say language. What language? Well, Ukrainian language for one thing. 95% of the team was Ukrainian. Spoke the language. Okay? This proved a bit of a problem to the opposition because they didn't understand our plans, our strategy. All right? So right there we had an advantage. Spoke at least 2 languages. And just a quick thing here. Shades of the Navajos in World War II. Right? All right, moving right along because I don't want to take too much of your time. In my short tenure as varsity coach, I had the pleasure. Now, I'm not going to name names here because there's too many people that I'd hate to miss someone. Of knowing and working with some of the finest athletes in the area. They were polite, talented young men. Every game, and we didn't rather win every game. But sometimes only a few. Nor did we win any championships. But the boys never quit, win or lose. For this, I'll be forever grateful. As I became athletic director, I relinquished my coaching duties to Jerry Federici, who happens to be here tonight, who ran the program successfully for 10 years at least, but perhaps even more than that. And then today, of course, under Pat Kane, who's continuing the tradition. As athletic director, I was once again fortunate and blessed to have worked with some of the most experienced, unselfish, dedicated, and compassionate people in the area. Men and women. I think we only had one woman coach here. I think it's Mr. Cherokee in golf, the only one that I remember, whose primary objective was to give of themselves the precious time to work with our young men and to mold them not only into the fine athletes they became, but also the true Christian gentlemen they also are today. Need I say more? The many championship banners in Roman's gym speak for themselves. Thank you, one and all, for a great job. Whoa, I'm not finished yet. We're getting near the end. All right, just for that I'll talk another 20 minutes. Now we're getting near the end. Now in conclusion, I'd like to thank the present, past administrations, former teachers, present teachers, former students, present students. See, I was involved with all these people. Need to be thanked. The Alumni Association, the Development Office, my classmates, close friends, and all of you who are here tonight. And for making today, a special day in my life. A day I shall never forget. A day which I will cherish forever. I'll tell you in a minute. And finally, there's one more person I need to acknowledge, and that is my lovely wife, Olga, sitting there. Please stand there. For her love and understanding, for putting up with so many absences of mine during games, weekends, etc. And I think I'll end right here. God bless, thank you very much, and good night.
Our next award. Do I have to remind you about the talking room in the back? John A. Gillen Interleague Award. You heard from John Gillen earlier. This recipient is a product of Holy Cross Grade School and Mount Airy Playground athletic programs. Graduate of Cardinal Doherty class in 1963. All Catholic honors in both baseball and basketball. Graduate of LaSalle University, where he excelled in basketball, during which time he was the 10th player to score 1,000 points. Coached Archbishop Ryan's baseball and basketball teams from 1967 to 1975. Won the 1972 Catholic League baseball title. Participant in the Markwood Club for 30 years. And has been the membership director for the past 2 years. May I present to you George Paul.
Okay, congratulations to the newest members of the Sports Hall of Fame here at Roman, and kudos, okay, to fellow award winners. To paraphrase Garrett Morris, the comedian from Saturday Night Live in the 70s, sports has been very, very, very good to me, okay? I met my wife at a softball game in the 60s, and last Monday we just celebrated our 30th wedding anniversary. My wife Janet. We're blessed with 4 pretty good kids. They forgot the recyclables this morning, but Christine, Maureen, George, and Joe, okay? And along the way, I've had some great coaches from grammar school, high school, college, and I'd like to acknowledge my college coach here, Joe Heyer, okay, who helped me along the way. I've been pretty lucky over the years, okay? that I was able to play high school and college basketball and baseball and coach high school sports and also get to watch my kids play and enjoy sports. After all my life's participation in sports, I value the same thing now that I valued 40-some years ago. And that's basically, okay, the friendships that develop from sports and competition. Okay. SHOF Committee, I'd like to thank you very much. Okay, God bless.
I gotta say this. It's gonna kill me all night if I don't say this. George met his wife at a softball game. I never met any girls at any softball games or baseball games. I just struck out a lot. Laugh or I'll explain it. Pete, I need some help. Can you help me over here, buddy? Thank you. Okay, the next inductee, class of 1982. Did I say the class of 1982? That's what I like about you people, you catch on quick. 2-year starter on the varsity baseball team. Senior year team captain. First team coach is all Catholic. I'm starting to like this crowd. Daily News second team all Catholic. City All-Star team. That was just baseball. 2-year starter on the varsity football team. Senior year team captain. Either I gotta start talking faster. And first team coach is all Catholic. Philadelphia Journal second team all Catholic. Philadelphia Daily News honorable mention all Catholic. City All-Star team. Again, that was for football. And the Thomas E. Cahill Outstanding Merit Award, Thomas M. Speranzo. Did I say Thomas Speranzo?
That's good, thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank the committee for choosing me. I can't put into words how great it is to be up here and get recognized by the same great institution that has honored such Catholic high legends as Goldie Graham, Billy Markward, Frank Meneman, Jim Katkavich, and of course the great Speedy Morris. I'd also like to thank George Dugan, Brian Doherty, John Clark, Kevin Boyle, Jay Kerrigan, Dave Cherry, Mike Borino, and especially Joe Dock and Joe DeLuca for the hard work and perseverance on the nomination package that they sent to the committee. I appreciate that, guys. For those of you tonight who came here hoping for a Joe Doherty type speech, I have to apologize. Doc's a tough act to follow, and although he called and offered his expertise half a dozen times between December and now, I decided to go the conventional route and go with an Academy Award type speech. Sorry about that, Doc. I need to thank so many people. I decided to start from the beginning, so bear with me for a little while if you would, please. I'd like to thank all my coaches from Wissahickon AA, especially Mike Ross, Mr. Bill Finnegan, who's in attendance tonight, and Mr. Bill Timms. Thank you. Mike was my first football coach and taught me how to play the game and made the game enjoyable. Mr. Finnegan and Mr. Bill Timms are not just great football or baseball coaches, excuse me, but they also taught us the meaning of the word sportsmanship and how to respect our opponents, win or lose. Baseball is a huge part of my life right now, and I owe that to Mr. Finnegan, Mr. Timms, and Frank McGee. Gave my first taste of coaching baseball almost 20 years ago, and with whom I am very fortunate to be able to coach with today. All these gentlemen laid the foundation for me as I started my athletic career at Catholic High and for this I say thank you. I'd like to thank my baseball coach at Roman, Father Joe Gleason. He converted me to a full-time second baseman and taught me the finer points of the game. I was privileged to play under a great football coach at Catholic High. His name is Bob Wagner, who happens to be in the back. He's still an outstanding football coach, an incredible person as well. He made us all not only better football coaches, but better men and leaders of men as well. I think I learned more about life from him than anyone during my career at Catholic High. Thanks, Coach. All these head coaches had great assistants, such as Mike Gibbons, who's here tonight, A.J. Marinari, Jack Wilson, John Toner, Ed Broadbine, Joe DeWilliams, who's also here, George Dugan, Joe Rayner, Bob Murphy, and Eric Knopke, to name a few, as well as great trainers like the legendary Rocky Long. Thanks to all of you. I'd also like to thank my teammates, and especially the members of the 81 Catholic High football team who are back there goofing off down there somewhere. They made that season the most memorable athletic experience that I ever had. We formed a pretty special bond over these last couple of years. It seems to be getting a little bit stronger, so I love you guys, and we'll be hanging out a little bit later on. Just stand tight. One member of that team who isn't able to be here tonight is John Clark. John's recovering from a very serious operation, and on behalf of that football team, I'd like to ask you guys to please keep Clarky and his family in your prayers tonight and for the next couple of months, please. I'd like to thank Father Ray Tribbiani, who was not just our football martyr, but was and still is a great friend who taught us that being yourself and treating people with respect is more important than anything you could do on an athletic field. Thanks for coming tonight, Padre. I'd like to thank all my friends back there, table 31, 32, and all them guys making noises back there. They've been with me through thick and thin. I appreciate you coming out tonight. You made a special night even a little bit more meaningful. Thanks. Special thanks to my best friend Mike Guarino and to Dave Cherry for flying in from San Francisco to be with us tonight. Thanks, Dave. Those of you that know me know I have been blessed with a great family. I have terrific aunts, uncles, and cousins that are down in the audience. I have 4 wonderful sisters who supported me during high school, and they do to this day. You guys mean an awful lot to me, and I'm elated that you could be here tonight. Thanks. Last but certainly not least, I'd like to thank my mom and dad who are in the audience tonight. Without whose love and sacrifices, I would not be standing in front of you tonight. There were not too many games since I was 6 years old that they didn't attend, and them being there made me want to play harder and make them proud. Dad, hope you have your hearing aid on. Are you listening to me? Thanks for all the rides back from the shore to make all my Little League games, and for the rides home from Cahill Field after you worked a 10 or 12-hour day. Mom, thanks for all the clean uniforms to play in, all the early morning breakfasts you prepared before the football games, and all the encouragement you gave me after a tough loss. Thank you both for all the sacrifices you have made to make our family what it is today. Thank you very much.
Okay, our next induction is a team induction. This team was the Catholic League champions in track, 1959. They set the Catholic League champions, they set 3 meet records while winning 6 events. They were winner of the National Catholic Invitational Meet, winning 9 events. They set the Catholic League Mile Relay champs. Accepting for the team is Coach Lou Nicastro. By the way, this gentleman, Mr. Nicastro, taught me the trick on how to beat Mr. Quinn at his 500 sentences. If you tape 2 pens together, you only have to do them 250 times. This team included James Banham, deceased, Thomas Cubbin, Robert Cubbin, Carl Grant, deceased, Joseph Grill, deceased, Charles Hammock, Charles Jenkins, James Kerper, Thomas McAndrew, Thomas Ace McCann, Manuel Ortiz, William Scott, John Slowick, Dr. Richard Rosalo, Lenorde Wheeler, Ulysses Wilson, Coach Louis Nicastro, and Coach William Bell, deceased. Coach.
This is not Jimmy Banham. This is his grandson. Ben. I don't spend too much time here, but I'd like to tell you a little bit about some of the gentlemen on this team. First of all, Tommy Cubbin. He did everything we asked of him. Ran the quarter mile, pole vaulted. He looked after all of us. I remember when we were going to the national championships, we were outside of Washington, D.C. We went in to get something to eat, and they said, sorry, your black boys can't sit with the white boys. Tommy said, out we go, and we did. It was a close team. We qualified 3 of our runners of the 6th in the 200-meter finals. Jimmy Banham said we need a lot of points. He said, I will hold back, let Vassallo and Grill run up front, then I'll start moving to win. Richie Vassallo forgot that he was supposed to finish 2nd. He beats Jimmy Banham. The other thing was, in the city championship, we had the Catholic League 400-meter and 800-meter champion, Billy Scott. We introduced for the first time a freshman, Bobby Cubbin. He forgot that Scott was the champion, and he beat Scott in the city championship. Scotty was a little mad at that, and he went into the invitational meet and set a new record of 156.1, which was a fabulous time at that time. There's nothing more I can say about them, except they really ran close. The thing that they did that the great 58 team could not do was win the mile relay at the Penn Relays. West Catholic had won it for 8 straight years, but 3 of the gentlemen are here now. Vassallo. Here he is, Dr. Vassallo. Tommy Cubbin and Billy Scott. They did what the other team could not do, win a championship. They had big shoes to fill. They more than did that. I'd like to finish up with 2 things. Number 1, I like my adopted families to stand. Banham and Scotts. Please stand. And finally, I never nominated any of my runners to the Hall of Fame. I just hope now some of you realize that 2 of them belong there in the future, Billy Scott and Dr. Vassallo. With that, I thank you. I had to pay him a lot of money for that.
Just had to remind Mr. Nicastro, we have a little tradition at Roman in the Sports Hall of Fame. When a team gets inducted, the plaque goes back to the alumni and it gets hung in the alumni house. And there's a wall of all the team inductions there. The next award is a special award, the Joseph Goldie Graham Memorial Award for Loyalty. This recipient is a member of the class of 1944, former resident of Swamp Poodle in St. Columbus Parish. He was the senior manager of his football team. He was a caretaker at Cahill Field. And when the water department decided to close the gates at Cahill Field, things looked a little bleak with regards to having a practice facility. This individual played an instrumental role in the acquisition of River Field and securing a future practice facility for our football team. Let's have a round of applause for Jim Lloyd.
I'm glad I followed Pete Mesnick, and I want to thank him for turning the light on. Only. Good evening, everybody. Reverend clergy, my family, especially my wife Peg of 52 years, friends, classmates, and fellow honorees. I wish to thank the Sports Hall of Fame Committee for selecting me to receive the Goldie Graham Award. I have always considered myself a loyal Calite, dating back to my days at Roman. When at one time I was caretaker at Cahill Field. My loyalty and participation remained throughout the years, but my latest endeavor began in 1993. The alumni were notified about our eviction from Cahill Field. This is where my good friend, the late Bob Evans, asked me to become part of a committee in search of a practice facility. Ironically, the people evicting us must have been aware of the difficulty of finding a new location, as we were given a 5-year notice. I credit the finding of this location to my good friend Ed Graham, who passed this vacant parcel of ground every day as he drove to school at Broad and Vine. Further investigation revealed it was part of Fairmount Park and the city of Philadelphia. This is where I became instrumental in the ensuing years. Fortunately for all of us, we have plenty of help from 2 close members of my family. My daughter Karen, a Fairmount Park commissioner, and her husband, Philadelphia Congressman Bob Borski. Without their involvement in opening doors, this project would have never moved at the quick pace it did. Myself and other members of the Friends of Riverfield, chaired by Dick Trotter, worked endlessly towards obtaining a 30-year lease with 5-year extensions, and it was finally signed with the city. All's well that ends well. We now have a practice facility for football, baseball, lacrosse, and soccer. And hopefully soon, we will be able to include track and tennis. More importantly, the field is only 1 mile from school with a brand new functional clubhouse that overlooks the Philadelphia skyline. Therefore, tonight I proudly accept this award. And I'd like to remember my good friend, Goldie, wherever you are. Thank you. Thank you.
Our next inductee, class of 1940. Again, let me remind you about the talking room, please. It's a little annoying when you're up here for myself. I mean, you're spoiling for the inductees. 4-year member of the football team, 4-year member of the crew team, co-captain his senior year, North American single sculling champion in 1939. Accepting for the late Mr. Popo is his daughter Paula Oliver.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sports Hall of Fame members, distinguished alumni, family and friends, Reverend Fathers, on behalf of my father, Michael Popow, I'd like to thank the Schaff Committee for honoring him and inducting him into the Sports Hall of Fame. I'd like at this time to recognize some of my father's classmates of 1940, specifically Mr. James McSherry. It was through his, thank you. It was through his efforts he kept up with the members of his classmates, and the Schaff Committee therefore could locate me to come to this august evening. Also, I want to thank Mr. Jim Gordon, in my absence at the induction ceremony, who stood in for my father. Thank you. Also, I want to recognize Lou Merlini. I met him tonight and he shared some rowing experiences that he had with my father. And also, I want to recognize Mr. John Kiefer, who is a former Roman Catholic High student and coach. I talked with him on the phone, and he gave me information about the rowing days in the 1930s, and he has an abundance of historical artifacts that he keeps up with. Also, I'd like to thank Mr. Steve Paul. He called me several times to explain to me what this evening was all about, and I'm very glad that I was able to attend. During the 1930s, the faculty and coaches at Roman instilled in my father the training, endurance, and discipline to become an athlete. These strengths remained with him throughout his life. He was an avid sportsman. The sport of rowing never left him. He enjoyed rowing on the inlets and bays in eastern North Carolina, where he chose to have his home. Also, he kept a rowing machine in the back of his office. And sometimes I would walk in and he'd be on the machine, and that was the way he wanted to stay fit. He owned and operated Havelock Real Estate Agency in North Carolina for 34 years until his death. He had 2 careers. He had his career in the Marine Corps for 20, and then he was a realtor for 34 years. He was a faithful man. He was married once to my mother and stayed married for 32 years until her death. I know that if my father were alive and he was attending this evening banquet, And it's been lovely, and everyone has been so gracious and hospitable and made me feel right at home. I believe that he would feel very, very proud, and he would have been humbled as well to receive this great honor. And I want to thank you all very, very much.
We're going to wing this one too. There's a message there. Mr. Popo is not with us. A lot of the inductees that are here tonight, my message to you is come back to Roman. This was one of Bob Evans's goals, is to have the Sports Hall of Fame inductees be mentors. Not to, just to be at the games, be at the communion breakfast. Let the young guys look up to you. When they walk in the gym or whatever, say, geez, that guy was on the championship team. That guy was MVP. He was all Catholic. He was this, he was that. That means a lot to them. And that was his goal. This isn't a money-making event. This is reconnecting the students, the former students, with the current students. That's what it's all about. So there's a message there. The man doesn't have the opportunity to do that. You do. Okay. Pretty good for winging, I think. Mr. John Lyons is our next inductee. He's not here tonight. He's a member of the 1967 class. 1965, he was the Catholic League cross country champion. 1966, Catholic League cross country champion. He set a new course record during that championship. 1966, he also was the Catholic League mile winner, setting a new meet and school record. Accepting for him tonight is his coach, Mr. Kevin Quinn.
Although this is not an honor for me, it is a great honor for me to be here. Some of you I know well. For those of you who don't know, I was a member of the faculty at Roman for 27 years, and 17 of those joyful, happy years were spent as the assistant disciplinarian. And so later tonight, we're going to name the all-detention team. And there are several all-Catholics here, too. I might actually be better off talking about Father Panisiak and Father Hanlon and some of the other folks who worked in that office. But it is a great honor for me to accept this award for Jack Lyons. Jack's not here tonight, and don't ask me to explain why, because I can't explain why. I don't know. He's not here, but that's not the point. He was a very unique and interesting young man. He did things his way, and in a lot of ways, that's what made him the great athlete that he was. The coaches always have great stories about their athletes. I also had Jack Lyons in class. I taught him when he was a freshman. I was a rookie teacher. I was there for 1 year. I was now in my second year of teaching at Roman. I had a very interesting baptism of fire my first year there. Determined that I was going to resist them. I did. I had Jack in class, and one of the things that you have to do in a history class is, of course, keep a notebook. And so we dutifully give notes and do terms and do all of those things. All those bad memories are coming back, aren't they, fellas? Yes. And so you have to have a notebook. And so at the end of the year, Jack had been on the freshman team. He was an outstanding runner even as a freshman. And I think that he assumed that as an outstanding runner, his coach was going to take care of him. And so the notebooks were being collected on Wednesday and pass them up. No notebook from Jack. Okay, Jack, I need the notebook Thursday. Got to have it Thursday. No notebook Thursday. Friday, no notebook Friday. Jack, you got till Monday, you got to have it. You don't have it, you're going to fail. Mr. Quinn, I know you won't do that to me. So after 6 weeks at West Catholic, he began to understand. He began to understand the relationship, and it was an interesting relationship for 3 years. It was a love-hate relationship. We just kept banging heads and banging heads and banging heads. But he was a tremendous talent. He had a tremendous heart. If you look at his records, and this perhaps is the thing, and I will cut it short by saying that in all sports, as people like to look back and compare one era to another, one generation to another. And how do you compare Mark McGuire to Babe Ruth? How do you compare basketball players of a different era, Michael Jordan, Wilt Chamberlain? You can look at numbers, but the numbers are skewed. They're different. It's a different game. Well, the mile in 1966 is the same mile that they run today. It's the same distance. In 1966, Jack Lyons ran 4:18.9 for the mile. I coached track at St. Joseph's University. I've been there for 34 years doing it. One of the most disgusting parts of the job, of course, is recruiting and going after kids. I will tell you that if today Jack Lyons were running in high school, he would be one of the most highly recruited runners in the United States, because 4:18 as a junior in high school, which is what he did, would make him a prime recruit for his senior year. And so he is a Hall of Fame athlete for Roman Catholic High School, and I thank you for inducting him.
Mr. Quinn and Father Murphy taught me two lessons that I carry through life. You can be stern but be fair. And he was, as a disciplinarian. Got me off the hook one time with Mr. Algio. We have a special award winner. It is the William Speedy Morris Community Sports Award. I could be here for hours talking about Speedy Morris. I'll give you one quick story. He doesn't remember this, I'm sure. I'm a senior, so there's 200 other guys. I blend in. I don't think he knows me. He's walking down the hall. I think I missed 3 games a year in basketball. So what's that, about 20 I made? So I don't think he knows me. I know him, obviously. So he walks by us, a whole bunch of us. Hi, Speedy, hi, Speedy, hi. He goes, are you Tom Johnston? I said, yeah. I said, guys, come here, I got something for you. He opens up his briefcase, pulls out one of those 59-cent pocket dictionaries. I found this in the trash pile in the gym. They were sweeping up and it was over there. I picked it up and had your name in it. Here's a guy who had a lot more things on his mind than picking trash. And he did that for me. I thought that was the greatest thing. I still remember that. I mean, this guy's got basketball games and tournaments and all kinds of stuff, and he picks out a 59-cent lousy dictionary for me and carries it in his briefcase until he sees me. I thought that was fantastic. I mean, I thought that was better than the Catholic League Championship, to tell you the truth. That's what this award is about, a guy who's a lot of service. And time won't allow me to go into all the things that this guy did, this award winner. I'll just briefly highlight it for about half an hour. All right. All due respect to his many years of service, let me summarize. He has coached for over 25 years on various levels from Pee Wee to 10th grade, in various leagues, CYO, community, AAU, in various sports, boys and girls basketball, boys baseball, boys football. His teams have won over 10 championships. He's developed and instituted Coaches Association, recognition nights, intramural leagues, athletic associations.
He served, of course, when you do all this, you also have to serve on numerous boards and committees. He's a 1961 graduate of Catholic High. In his spare time, he's a husband, he's a father, he's a grandfather. Present to you Mr. Tom Moore.
Good evening. Thank you. I brought my fan club tonight. I'll pay them later. You did good. Before I start talking about some things, Kevin up here kind of recalled something that Roman is pretty consistent. Let me tell you, in my sophomore year, I had a great Irishman for great Irish priest for English, which I hated. And I walked in, and Father Lockery, Notre Dame guy, is going on and on and on, and he gives us this assignment, and he says, "Gentlemen, I want you to go to the library, and I want you to write an essay on the theme of the library." So we all go, and we sit there, and we look at each other, and in time, I did not write the theme. So the first report card comes out, I get an 85. So this is pretty good. So second quarter, he says, "Tom, I don't think you turned the theme of the library." And I said, "Father, I went to the library, and I sat there and I couldn't figure out what the theme was." He said, "Well, I think you ought to go back and write it again." So this goes on every semester. I get another 85, another 85, and then he comes up to me in the fourth quarter and he said, "I don't think we got that theme in yet." So I'll get it to you, Father. Flunk, West Catholic. So the Roman priest, I learned a lot from that. I learned a lot from Roman, but Kevin recalled that. But first of all, thank you so much for being part of this evening, and I'm truly honored and humbled for this recognition and being part of Roman. I think people that are here tonight that are from Roman know what it's all about, but people here tonight that maybe haven't been subjected to the great tradition that we have, I think, come away with a better feeling of what this institution's all about. And I know it's a big part of my soul is Roman Catholic High School. And I'd just like to congratulate all the Hall of Fame inductees tonight and special award winners, and really thank the Sports Hall of Fame people who, I've done a lot of this kind of stuff, and this is a thankless job, and if people like this don't do it, we don't have the enjoyment of this evening. So I'd like to hear it for those people tonight. Great job. I know the other award winners tonight have stood up here and thanked a lot of people, and that's really what we need to do, because we're so fortunate to be part of tonight. But this award for me with Speedy Morris is exceptional. Everybody knows about Speedy, and as a CYO coach, I've been doing it actually 33 years, and Speedy was a CYO coach. That's how he started, and he never forgets it. And so many times in my life, I've called him up for recognition nights, bring my team down to LaSalle, and he just goes way, way out of his way, as everybody knows. We got a million Speedy Morris things, but it's especially meaningful to me, Speedy, to get this award in your name tonight. Thank you. Roman's in the kids' business, and coaching is in the kids' business, even up to LaSalle University, where we got great coaches like Speedy and Johnny Miller, who still give these young men and young women what they need in life at that point in their life. And I've just always been attracted to these young men and women in the grade school level, and fortunately I've been able to kind of get a second vocation there, and there was no planning of this. It just kind of happened, and I think a lot of it happened because of coming from Roman and in the kids business, and you don't know it while you're getting it, but there's some things implanted that we all take out there, and I think we all want to give back in our own way, and I thank the Lord that He gave me an opportunity to do something that I'll be forever grateful. But there's really The credit for me really goes to my best friend and my wife, Nancy Moore. Nancy, please stand up. You know, in our religion, there's been a lot of activity on sainthood. And if you could be around my family and my friends, if you could be a fly on the wall, my wife is a saint. Now, what I don't fully understand is whether she volunteered for this or she was just so naive she inherited it. But I see Speedy out there. Your wife's there too, and Johnny Miller, John Hoban. There's a lot of good women that are behind the kind of people that give their time to our youth. But my wife has been a wonderful support to me, and I have 5 great children that are here tonight, and they allowed me to not be there as often as maybe I should have to do this. So, guys, thank you. I guess, you know, coming from East Falls and Roman, and went into the Navy, and a lot of good things happened to me. Ran into a lot of great coaches that I worked with, and so many of them are here tonight. And I worked at 2 wonderful parishes, St. John the Cross and Roslyn, for 19 years, and at St. Alphonsus now for 14 years. So I've just been blessed to be in a position where I had the opportunity to work with all these wonderful young men and young women, and their parents. So many great parents out there. As I reflect a little bit on what I've done, you know, you sit back, and we all are very busy and hectic lives, and too often we don't take the time to reflect on what's important in our lives. And when we do, we realize that we need a balance. And coaching kids has been a tremendous balance for me. I think of all the achievements that a person could obtain during their lives, and I can't think of anything that could be more rewarding than contributing to the maturation of young people, the future of our communities and our societies. As I reflect on this a little bit, I think of 3 things: pride, humility, and gratitude. And I don't think you get into the coaching business if you don't have an immense amount of pride. And I got a lot of that from my family, my brothers and sisters, my mom and dad, the community I grew up in, East Falls. I'll never forget 7th grade playing McMichael Park, no teams, no St. Bridget's, no East Falls AA. And a guy pulled up 2 days in a row, parked in a car, watched us, came back the 3rd day, gave us red hats. His name was Bob Sensky. Says, you guys have a game tomorrow night. Come with a white t-shirt. And that's how East Falls AA got started. That's how St. Bridget's got started. Bob went on to coach for many, many years. So he taught us pride with a $1 red hat. And I know a lot of guys in this room recall that. So great people like that develop a lot of pride. Roman Catholic develops a lot of pride. And I think that, you know, to do this drove me. I started out with a lot of pride. And then as time goes on and you lose a few games that you think you should have won, and you start to become a little humble, that, you know, this pride sometimes maybe takes over, and you get a little humbled, and at that time you start to get some gratitude in your life, and you keep going back, and you're grateful for the good things that do happen to you. And I think when you get that kind of balance, and you can show that to the young men and women that you work with, as Roman Catholic does with their young men, that we can't always be champions, but when we can show the balance, that hard effort and work is going to pay off in our lives. So those 3 things kind of I thought about, and of course us coaches, we have a million stories, and I'll keep it to 2. And I think they kind of maybe give you a little feel for the 3 things I just talked about. When I was at St. John of the Cross, we had a young man who was, I guess he was in 6th grade, and I was watching him play basketball. He wasn't on my team, and he wasn't a very orthodox player, but he was a very determined player. He was small. He really didn't get a whole lot of respect from his peers, but he just kept plugging away, plugging away. And all of a sudden he caught a virus, and he was in a wheelchair in 6th grade, and he couldn't play anymore. And in 7th grade, one of my fellow coach, Mike Carr, who is here tonight, and convinced me to get into basketball. I've been doing football for 10 years when he convinced me to do that. And I loved basketball, but anyway, got in. Mike and I got this young man on our team, and he was very frail, and just things weren't going real well. And I was young coach, and I kept pushing him and pushing him and pushing him, and so did Mike. And all of a sudden, he doesn't show up for practice. And we look at each other, and I said, "What do you think?" And we talked, and I got on the phone. The young man was crying. He said, "Coach, I can't do it. I'm disappointing you guys. I'm disappointing my parents. I'm disappointing." He's a 7th grader, right? I said, "Johnny, you got a lot going for you, pal. Come on out. Come on out." So a couple more phone calls, a little less tears. Johnny got back out, played in 7th grade. Next year, 8th grade, we have 19 boys come out for the team. Mike and I are softies. We don't cut any. Johnny works. 5'1" now, about 88 pounds, and we start him. And we have a nice football team. We have one basketball player, and we have a nice football team out there. So, make a long story short, we're very fortunate. We keep winning, and we get to the Archdiocese quarterfinals or semifinals, quarterfinals, excuse me. And Mike has to go to Europe, so I'm there by myself. And we're playing this wonderful team of St. John the Evangelist. They have 3 kids 6'3". Their point guard 6'1". Our tallest player is 6 foot, and we go 5'7", and we're down. So we get behind by 19 points in the first half. And so being the genius coach I am, we had done nothing but zone defenses the whole year. At halftime, I come back to the kids. They're looking at me, and they're saying, "What are we going to do?" And I said, "We're going man-to-man." And they said, "Okay." So long story short, 3 seconds left in the game. 7 seconds left in the game. We steal on the press. We're down 1. Best player misses the ball, goes out of bounds. They get the ball, inbound again. We steal it again. The kid that shot it had no chance. And little Johnny comes hustling back, all 5'1". Ball goes over these 3 6'3" kids right into his hands. He puts the ball in with 1 second left, and we win the quarterfinal game. Next chapter is we're in the Archdiocesan Championship game, which we were the better team. We weren't the better team that day, but we were this day. 4 starters foul out. I got 4 subs and 5'1" Johnny. And it's 7 seconds left. We're down 1-1. Call timeout. Tell the kid, the biggest kid that's in there, "You're going to get the rebound. You throw it to Johnny. Johnny, you go down the court. You shoot it. We win the game." Well, that's exactly how it went, except he shot it with 1 second left. And believe it or not, this is 1985. They got the inbound pass, and all the kids backed up, afraid to foul. Kid catches it at half court, throws it, hits the back of the rim, and goes out. But 5'1", Johnny Doyle, who wanted to quit in 7th grade, won those 2 games. Johnny Doyle never played high school basketball, but I think that's a whole lot about what coaching is about. And then the other story I want to tell you is I know there's a lot of Notre Dame fans here, especially Mr. Johnny Miller out there. But I coached a young man by the name of Mark Zadoveski. I coached him in all 3 sports, football, basketball, baseball. Mark had the honor of playing at Notre Dame University, and we go out every year. And his senior year, he asked me to come in the locker room, my sons and some of my brother-in-laws, and we go in the locker room, and we're standing in the middle of Notre Dame's football locker room, and he introduces me to Justin Goheen, who was the captain of the football team. And he said, "This is my CYO coach." And Justin turned and he looked at me and he says, "You know, Coach," he says, "Mark and I played against each other in CYO. He was a visitation, Mark was at St. John's. And he said, they were the best times of our lives. we're talking about this now while we're playing football here at Notre Dame. So I think that, those kind of feedbacks, those kind of rewards are really, our payback in coaching. So I just wanted to close now with thanking a whole lot of people, some of them in general, but thank you, Roman Catholic High School. You've been a big part of my life. Thank you, Ed Graham, and all the alumni, especially our older alumni. My father-in-law, John Flaherty, who has passed away. Guys like Jim McSherry and Judge DeLarso for showing us how an alumnus can repay a great school for helping us with the fundamentals of life. Thank you, Father Brandt, Father Hoffman, our principal, and all the current teachers and administrations for continuing the tradition at Roman. Thank you to all my families, including my in-laws. All my fellow coaches and friends for being here for me tonight. I guess so that in-law thing didn't work too good, huh? Anyway, in closing, I guess through life you reach many crossroads, and while coaching, I've had my share of crossroads. Fortunately, I've always seemed to make the right decision. Sometimes the decisions were made when I was uncertain of my desire to continue. I've reached another crossroad in coaching, only this time I'm in a familiar neighborhood, and no matter which way I turn, it will be okay. In closing, I want to thank everyone present for sharing this special night with me, and long live Roman Catholic High School. Thank you.
Our next inductee. Our next inductee is a member of the class of 1933. Starting end on the football team as a sophomore. Suffered a career-ending injury. He then switched up and became a 3-year all-league shortstop. 2-year starter on the basketball team. Senior year he was captain. He was a Catholic League high scorer, and he was all Catholic. He led his team to an undefeated Catholic League season. Accepting for the late Mr. Harron is John Kane, his classmate.
I'm not his classmate. Jack Gillen's his classmate. I was the following year. Well, anyhow, I'm the last one, I think, right? How much time do I have? Billy Markward, the dean of coaches back in the 20s and 30s, coached at basketball Roman Catholic High for 40 years, from 1902 to 1942. During that time, I understand he had 18 championship teams. One of the championship teams was the year 32-33, Jim Harron's team. Jimmy Harron was the captain of that team. Jimmy Harron was the high scorer on that team. He was the high scorer in the whole league that year. And as a matter of fact, Billy Markward, one time, a few years after that, decided his 5 best scorers in his own 42 years. He picked out 3 teams: a defensive team, a scoring team, and a miscellaneous team. Well, the scoring team, Jimmy Harron, was one of the 5 then. So that means Billy Markward thought he was one of the 5 best scorers Roman Catholic ever had up to that time. That team consisted of Matt Gukas Sr., a lot of you remember Matt, I'm sure, or know of him anyhow, Johnny McMenamin and Danny Kenny. Jack Gillen was also a part of that team. McMenamin, Gucas, and Kenny went on from there to St. Joe College, where they took the name with them, the Mighty Mites. He became very famous there. I'm bringing them up because Mr. Harron's family isn't here, couldn't come today, and on behalf of them and Jimmy's friends here, he's got quite a few friends here, but also I know Jack was a very good friend of Matt Gucas from that team, and of Jimmy Harron, and one of Jimmy's best friends was Matt Gucas Sr. And I just want to say Matt Gucas' widow is here with us tonight, and she is one of the real Catholic High, you might say, alumnus, because she comes to all of our affairs. Joan Gucas, would you stand up, please? Anyhow, on behalf of his friends and of Jimmy, we accept this award to one of the best, one of the greatest high school basketball players from Catholic High.
Thank you, John. Sorry about that class mix-up. We're at the end of our program, and before we end, I'd just like to recognize Joe Riley, our alumni president. Joe, if you're here, please stand up. You was here at the beginning of the night. I'd like to remind you about the video. Again, it's your night. It's your chance to keep it. My message to the inductees is this: come back to Roman, stay with Roman. My message to the other alumni is nominate your peers. Let us know who they are that deserve these awards. We're just like you guys, so if you have any names, feel free, send them to us. It's this time I'd like to turn the podium back to my good friend Steve Paul. Just let you know that Steve Paul made my daughter the happiest girl on Lafayette Hill tonight by having me come here. It was either this or chaperoning her dance. So she's quite happy that I'm here. Steve.
I'd just like to give Tom a hand for a job well done. I'd like to ask all the committee members to come forward, please. All the committee members that are here, come forward. I'd just like to give a hand to the committee members who do a lot of hard work to put this evening on for everybody. I'd like to thank everybody for coming tonight. I hope you enjoyed yourself, and John Kane's going to lead us in the purple and the gold.
When day mounts east, what flag does he hold? He flings out his banner of the purple and gold. And when at the east he sinks to his rest, the purple and gold till the flame is the west. Then stand by the flag, the young and the old. Its colors are yours, the purple and gold. A smile on the lip, a tear in the eye. Salute ye the colors of Catholic High. Hurrah!